I know you said something.
Oh, so we mute. Now is the time to mute and unscreen, right?
In a moment, I'll let you guys know. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sounds good though.
Okay.
If we're ready. I don't know.
I know you said.
Mute and unscreen, right?
In a moment, I'll let you guys know. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sounds good though.
Okay.
If we're ready. I don't know.
Thank you. Aloha and welcome back to Kawaiahao and to our bicentennial speaker series. Kaipoʻi here, our speaker, was supposed to speak on a Sunday, and on Friday we shut it down during the COVID. So thank you for returning as we restart our series in this virtual format, and we hope that you will continue to join us every third Sunday at 4 o'clock as we broadcast different speakers for your education and enjoyment. Today, we're going to be featuring Kaipoʻi Kelling. He is an elementary school teacher at the Samuel Kamakau Public Charter School, a Hawaiian language immersion program. Now, Kaipoʻi first started teaching at the Kawaiahao Adobe Building in 1995 under the Punanaleo o Kawaiahao program. In 2005, Kaipoʻi transferred to our Kawaiahao Church School program and taught in the upstairs elementary classrooms until 2018. Kaipoʻi is a student of the Hawaiian language and enjoys sharing his lessons with others. Today, he's going to speak about why Kawaiahao is a Wahipana. Journey back to the time of our ali'i and understand the historical significance of what makes this site so sacred. The spot that was selected for the settling of the Christian missions and the site for the first Christian church on Oahu. We'd like to welcome Kaipoʻi. Mahalo for coming. It's all yours.
Piha kula lanila kula O po ulila Po elela O pu kala kala lauia E kula He a kua nui He a kua mana He a kua ola, he a kua mau. O Yehova ke kamahele mai, kalani mai. He akua noho I ka iu ka velau ka makani. I loko ke au ka alelewa. He o huku ka honua, he ono hiku I ka moana. O ye ku. Ko mako kalahala I na pauloa. Mai ke ala I ka hiki Hawaii nei, mai ka hoʻoku I a ka halawai. Ehu ka ua mai ka langi mai, o Yehova ka make. Ua himeni ka lani ka okua, ke oli ne ka honua, ua loa ano ka huolelo, o ka ike, o ka mana, o ki ola. Halawai mākou I ke alo o boki, I ke alo ka haku mana mau. Pule pono ia Yehova, I ka huna nui o na moku. Me he lama I ke hewa nui. Ko mākou I loko ka lani, ho ano ia ko inoa, e ki mai ko aupuni, e hana oi ko make, mā ka honua nei iliki me ana I makalani la. E hawe mai a mākou ke ia la I aina kaia lewa nuna ia la. E hui kala mai hoi ka mākou lawe hala ana, me mākou kala nei ka poe I ka lawe hala I ka mākou. Mai ho ku o ia mākou I ka ho wali ia mai, e ho pakele nona ia mākou I ka ino. No ka mea nou ke apuni, a me ka mana, a me ka hoʻonani mau I aloa aku. Amene. Mahalo. O ahu nui a lai, o ahu ko o lau, o ahu ka onohi o ke kai. O ahu maka ewa, o ahu ka pulo ali'i, o ahu e ono moku. O ahu o ka kuhi ewa, o ahu mele ka ilima, o ahu ka piko ku one hana hue. Aloha mai kākou. Grandies Oahu of Laʻilaʻi, the first one who gave birth to man. Grandies Oahu to the north, the center of the archipelago, the center of the Pacific, thus the center of the world. Grandies Oahu of the indifferent eyes, spoken by Hi'iaka when her ohana wouldn't help her procure a canoe. Grandies Oahu, the land of the kapu sacred loali'i. Grandies Oahu of the 6 districts, Ko'olau Lua, Ko'olau Poko, Kona, Ewa, Waialua, Waianai. Grandies Oahu of Kakuihewa, our last king to be born, Aloali'i, from the center of the center of the center, which is Kukaniloku, for whom 50 years peace became a standard of ruling, only to be overshadowed by Kawaiʻao Kalani Po, for whom was 400 years of peace. It is truly to me when they say, Hemolele Kamalie Kauai is, perfect in peace, the golden age of life. Grand is the Ilima land of yellow flowers. Oahu is the center of the center of the center, my birth sands. If that ain't enough for Wahi Pana, I don't know what is. Aloha mai kako, I am Kaipoʻi Kelling. We seem to forget how grand this place is. Ke ia Wahi, this place, ke Pana nei, it is beating, throbbing, palpitating. Pana, beat of a drum, beat of your heart. Pana, famed in ancient lore or recent history. The question was asked, what makes Kawaiahao he Wahi Pana? Many kind answers to one question. That's the kind I like, where the flow of Makavalu can lead the discussion. Excuse me, what and whom gives me the authority to speak, you may ask. Simple. Ako is the authority. He gave me this story, and I'm praying that I'm worthy and diligent and expedient in the process. Well, how come you? I don't like questioning the boss. But we all have our assignments. We are all equal and important to him and each other. All lives matter to him who he created. Born and raised in the district of Kawaiahao in the Moko'eva. Porridge is the name I now know of. I was called to this space in 1995. The voice was Arlen Richardson and Kahukaina. They were present here and worried about their leo makuahine. They believed in the Punana Leo school system as a means to have this voice return to this space. From 1995 to 2005, I was blessed to be in the adobe right behind me, the first schoolhouse west of the Rockies, not knowing that I was learning about the power of space and place. From 2005 to 2018, I moved to the Kawaiahao Montessori School. I taught the elementary component. It was during the last 5 years that Kawaiahao spoke to me. Maybe the ancestors felt from 1995 to 2013 that I had paid my time here and I was worthy perhaps to hear from the space. Wahi Pana. It became to beat and then it sang and it cried and it wailed and it smiled. You see all the motions of life in one city block on the greenest grass of Ko, you see. Ko, yes. Ko is the name of this space. According to the maps from the Pi'inai'a Ohana, they say Ko was a trusted and servant to Kawaiahao. Some circles spoke of him being a ilamuku, or he was the sheriff's department within the court of Kawaiahao. Any flexing of the law had to be accomplished through this ali'i named Ko. Ko is a pronoun, yours. Ko, a beautiful native tree that thrives in the dry leafwood forest. Her beautiful orange flower makes an unusual lei prior to the puakenikeni, no doubt. There's a large specimen of Ko growing on the grounds of Iolani Palace, fronting King Street. The wood of this tree was treasured for making eating implements and bowls, utensils for another manao of Ko. Ko I puna, ke ko'i uka, ka maka ha o kanalu o kuhi hewa, ua o ia no ha ka papa. Beware the coral, the horned coral on the inside. This channel is treacherous, the wave of Kawaiahao. Lose your board here and it shatters on the reef. This comes from a song. It's called the Melehe Nalu. It describes Ko as a space of Kawaiahao's servant / sheriff. It was also the surf spot of the king prior to Waikiki. Or maybe that was his place because of the added danger of your board becoming a victim to the inside reef, something that did not exist in Waikiki. The outside area of Ko is known as Mamala. Ko was replaced by the name Honolulu some 200 years later. That was during the time of Kamehameha's occupation of this area. New regimes seemed to change the scenes. Yeah. Kawaiahao. Kawaiahao with a capital H perhaps. Yeah. Having always been explained to me as the waters of Ha'o, Kawaiahao. Ha'o being an ali'i would come to this spring in Au'au, she would bathe. It was always explained to me that it was Chiefess Ha'o. So I honor this story by sharing it in the manner that I received it. It is also written down in the book, The Stone Church of Kawaiahao. But now I will offer another version perhaps. My intention is not to offend, but to share what I've heard from the Makani. Awa oa, the wind that blows through this section. Awa, the barking of the dog. Oa, howling through. The dog wind that blows through from Ko out to Mamala. Here's a mo'okuau hau of 64 generations from Papa and Wakea. The line of the 64 represents the kapuloali'i of Oahu Nui a Laʻilaʻi. That is Oahu's own line of kings. Their own line. Yeah. When you reach to Papahelu 55, in the parentheses, there's the name Ha'o. Yeah? When the histories talk about somebody sacred, you cannot get more sacred than this line. Yeah? So when you reach Papahelu 55, the 55th line, it begins with O lupe kapu ke aho makali'i ke kane, o kalani manuia ka wahine, no ho pula wa hanau maila, o kua manuia kane, o ka ihi kapu manuia kane, o ha'o kane, o kekela wahine. This beautiful papahelu was gifted to me by Akua through Daniel Kikawa. This set of genealogies came from QLCC archives. He gave it to me one day and he said, this is for his glory. Go find the mo'olelo inside. And so this is what came out. If you can look at the beautiful penmanship, is a testament to our kupuna, who were very industrious in the keeping of our records. The author remains unknown to me, but all in due time, I think it's a wahine, but she will show herself. Yeah? O ku manuia, o ka ihi kapu manuia, o ha'o he maukane. The first three children of this union were male. O kekela he wahine. This is my first mention of ha'o, he kane. Yeah? And he ali kane kapu, because he is 2 generations before Kakuiheva. Kakuiheva's 57. So ka'ihi kapu Kakuiheva, Ha'o's brother, is Kakuiheva's father. So Ha'o would have been a makua kane to him, an uncle. Yeah? You can't get more kapu than that. Right? Second source, in Tales and Traditions of the People of Old by Samuel Kamakau, on page 57 and 58, they describe Ha'o as the 3rd son of Lupe Kapu, Kiaho Makali'i, and Kalani Manuia. He was raised in the district of Waikele. Ha'o and his brothers go through some trials and tribulations. Sound familiar? This is the only account of a chief named Ha'o to me who's very kapu. In the book The Stone Church, Ha'o is mentioned as a sacred chiefess, and I will also honor that. But there you have 2 renditions of Ha'o. What does that mean? Simple. Their very presence makes the space kapu. One more time. Their very presence on the grounds makes this area kapu. Where they walk, commoners no can go. It's papaia. They're coming and going to this water source here, Kawaiahao, the stone that has the name. That's the stone from that pond that they would sit upon. Makes the grounds of the church to be holy. Yeah? The space that they walk upon becomes instantly sanctified. Holy moly, right? To me, Ha'o's mana is imbued into the space. Keakua begins for his temple to be made here. How, you ask? Well, he sends a representative of sacredness. Somebody of the physical plane. Who are the kapuali'i to begin to set up shop? And so these I date about 1435 AD. How did you get this number, Mr. Kaipoʻi? Remember, I wasn't here yet, right? But if you jump to line number 60, you will know about the renowned ali'i known as Ku Ali'i, born in the year 1555. It's a number that Fornander and Kamakau write about. Okay, 1555, okay? Then you go back 5 generations. Each generation is 24 years in this account. 1555 minus 121, you get 1433. someplace around there. Anyway, what occurred to me, from 1433, Akua put his hand here. 1533, 1633, 1733, 1833. 400 years later, Hokai lau, we would say. Lau, Hawaiian word for the increment of 400. That's 40 times 10, which is an increment of ka'au, which is 40, or 4 times 10. Remember, 1 ka'au is how long the chosen ones were walking in a circle in a desert. Yeah? It comes down to ka'una. Ka'una is the 4 spaces in between your hand. Here's lima when ka put his place. Ka'una is important because when the farmers and fishermen trade, they would put their catch between the hands. 4 tails of fish, 4 stalks of kalo. And so when they trade, it's even Steven. Yeah? 4 is one that is balanced on all sides, uniform, very lokahi. You see, as lima was on this space for 400 years, a well-salted fish perhaps, what a Chinese called a 1,000-year-old duck egg, right? Preserved that long so no impurities could last. And here I am celebrating the 200 years of this temple, and I'm going back 400 years prior to that. Ha'o, kapulo'oli'i, first one to sanctify the space. Yeah? About 5 years ago, I met a wonderful man named Pilipo Souza, a Hawaiian national born on the sands of Kalapawai, Kailua, in the presence of the temple of Alala, in the royal sands of Kuali'i. A kumu he is, a source of the true one. He's a retired fire captain. He was stationed at station number 9, Kaka'ako. I like to rename that station Kawaiahao. Why? For the amazing water. Ha'o is a chief or chiefess. Ha'o is short for the word ha'o, which means astonishing, marvelous, wonderful. Kawaiahao is the wondrous water of life that saves lives. Is Jesus not that water of life? Pilipo would tell me about the night watches in the 60s. He would say, prior to telecommunications, which is the telephone, each officer would stay up 4-hour shifts and man the radio until the midnight hour. During the watch, kupuna were seen walking in the back of the station. And so he would go and report to his superiors. And his captain said, no worry, they're just drinking water. They don't bother nobody. So that station is known as 555 Queen Street. Yeah? It's a source of water, right? Springs that are on that side of the property kind of line up to the spring on this side of the property. Yeah? If you remember the volcanic eruptions in Puna, yeah? How Pele would come down a row, the eruptions would be linear like this. Yeah? In a straight line. It was never out of order. There was always an order to it. And so what happens to lava tubes when they cool down? They become transportation systems for water. Yeah? And so that water there has a connection to here. That's why when you go to the property next door, there's a well there. And that goes down the street also. Yeah? Next to the Queen Street, 555, is a brewery. Yeah? The name of the building is Royal Brewery. all brick red. You cannot miss it. I would imagine you would need a source of water to make your beer. And then across the street where the Word of Life is, used to be a poi mill. Up until World War II. Her name was Rachel Hall from Wahi Valley, Oahu. She used to mill her poi there, and guess what? There was a spring there also. So look at that, Kawaiahao, Word of Life, the brewery, yeah? This just water is going, yeah? And so the name of the Heavenly One, Kalani Kauiki Alaneo, the Sacred One placed in the blue vault of heaven, is one interpretation of her name. You see, she was born in Pihanaheo, Wailuku, Maui. Her fathers were rulers of Hawaii Island. Her mothers were rulers of Maui Island. Her union, Ni'aupio, she is, made her the highest line. O kalola ka inoho ya kalani upu'u, hana o kalani kaui ke auli ki wala o. O ya ka inoho ya kikui pui walilia, hana o kalani kaui ke alaneo o ke opu o lani. The most sought after woman of ko Hawaii Pai'aina. As she was an infant, plans were already made to switch her identity with another baby girl. Once the plans were set and the two baby girls were asleep, a messenger was sent to thwart the plan that only Akua could know and hear. This messenger had 4 legs and a keen sense of smell. And once she was found, a finger was severed by a dog. And so the one they were going to trade her with cannot trade now because she's damaged goods. Her name was Kanekoa. Ilio, we see in Hawaiian. Yeah? I, capital I with a kahako and okina. Yeah? Means supreme source of life. Yeah? The same I as a verb, speak with authority. So when you read your Paipala Hemolele, you will often see I akula ke akua, I maila ke akua. And that I is, he is speaking with authority. Leo, as in Ilio, a general name for quadrupeds, later becomes the name for horse. Leo, scared wide-eyed. Can you hear his name in the messenger? Pakamakani awa awa. The dog wind blows. E, supreme source of life. E, the name given to Moses. But you see, it's in another language. The same language that Henry Opukaha'ia, I believe one of our greatest Hawaiian scholars, say it again, greatest Hawaiian scholars, who put our Olelo Makuahine into print. Based upon his love, Henry's, and connection to Hebrew, not English. Iki maila o Yehova I kona huli ana e makaikai. Hea maila ke akua iaia, maloko mai o ua la aula. E Mose, I akula, e anu wau. And Jehovah saw him going through the trees, and he called out to him, Moses, Moses, here I am. I maila ke la? Mai ho o kokoke mai oe, e vehe a e oe ko ka maa. No ka mea, o kahi au I kune, he aino ho anu ia. And then he spoke with authority, don't you come close, remove your shoes. because the place you stand on is sacred ground. Yeah. Nino akula o Moses e ke akua. Aia hoi. Hiki akua o ina mamo Israela. O lelo ana wau ia lako. Na ke akua o kou po e kupuna. O wau I houna mai I o kou nei. A ninau ana lako iau. O wai kona inoa. Pehea la hoi kau e o lelo akua ia lako. And Moses asked God, when I'm there in front of the descendants, and they're talking to me, and I say to them, Kalamai, it is your God of your ancestors who sent me in front of you, and they're going to ask me, what's his name? What am I going to tell him? Imaila ke akua. Yeah, he says to Moses, O wau maulua aku no, which means, I am. Call me I am. The same I is the same E. Different pronunciation. Yeah. That same I, Yehovah. The same I, Yeku. Yeah. I used the Yeku because that's what Heva used when he put him in his prayer. E, or the I, because there's no J's in Hebrew. Io, Elio, is the pseudonym. Yeah? Elio is a pseudonym for Ili Okamealani. Elio Kamealani, which means the essence of the heavenly one, the essence of the royal one. You see, we couldn't say his name out loud because it's too dang kapu. And so in retrospect and in ultimate respect, we created pseudonyms. So those who try to stamp out those who would say his name will not be persecuted for saying his name. Io. I am is the same letter I that E. It's the name of our home. Hawaii. Ha, life, breath of life. Vai, water. Without water, there's no life. E, supreme source of life. Life, life, life. How many people can say the name of the Creator is on the name of their home country? Is it Israel? Or is it Hawaii, where the eyes, one on the front, one on the back, which is Alpha, which is Omega? Yeah? Keopuolani was saved at birth. She was kapu, just like how he put his hand here 400 years ago. He put his hand upon her so Io could open the way. To build a temple here. What? What are you talking about, Kaipoʻi? Yep. Pilipo Souza points me to her house. The house that sits on Queen and South Street. The house that makes beer, a royal beer. Are you seeing the maps? Yeah? So, this one is an 1810 rendition. This one is what's currently now in the space. Yeah? So in this map, her hale is here. Kawaiahao Church is here. So they're almost in a direct line. Yeah. You can get that map online. Just look, 1810 map, Honolulu. Okay. How do you know that's her house? Well, good question. There's a map of 1810. Well, what makes it authentic to me? Well, It's based upon a mana'o of a man who lived 2 blocks ever. Mililani Street. Yeah? In fact, his house, Mililani, names the street. And then his house, the street, names a suburb, which became the All-American City in 1979, which is Mililani over there. The name of this kupuna is John Papa'i'i. His wife is buried in the middle section over here. Yeah. Raised in the court of Kamehameha the Great, an advisor to the house of Kamehameha his whole life, a proponent for God's word and a friend to the missionaries. When you look at the map drawn upon his mo'olelo and his mana'o, John Papa'i'i is one of the canons of Mo'olelo, Hawaii, along with Kamakau, Malo, Keapalino, Fornander, and Poi Poi. His map shows this area between 1805 and 1810-ish. Yeah? Now we're moving ahead. For a major offensive push from the southern islands of Hawaii are now in our neighborhood. Meaning after the Battle of Nu'uanu, Kamehameha sets up camp here. And so he's living in this space. And so for point of reference, yeah? This is called Pakaka right here. So if I turn it this way, that would be Aloha Tower to me, or HPU is currently sitting. Yeah? His hale was right there, Kamehameha's. Hanging out in Ko or Pakaka now gets changed to the name Honolulu. He draws the residences of Pakaka, Honolulu. The point in the middle is Aloha Tower, yeah? He is here because he is getting his forces ready to go and visit Kauai Mano Kalanipo. And it's a 5-year stretch that he stays here, preparing for this battle. When you look at the map around his house, that's Kamehameha's inner circles. You're going to find all the ali'i that are close to him. But if you venture towards Waikiki, which is this way, Kawaiahao is not here yet. Yeah? You'll see Keopuolani. And right in front of her is another set of homes, which is referred to as Heva Heva and his attendants. So that's a clergy, straight line. Yeah? Honua Kaha, which is the name of the area. Honua, earth. Kaha, marked. Like when the pirates put the X so they know where their treasure is at. Yeah? That's 555 Queen Street. It's Honua Kaha. I used to think Honua Kaha was a district from Queen Street all the way up to the palace. But more and more I come to find out it's only this one block from the fire station to the DOT building. It's only that one block. It's known as Honua Kaha. And it was a very thriving, new, very thriving grove of coconut trees, which I think you still see. Those trees are from that time. The tall ones, you know, try to go look outside. The current name of this building is Hale Kinayahi, which means the house that extinguishes fire, which is the Hawaiian equivalent to a fire station. Yeah? You see, Queen Keopuolani was born of the fire. Her fire, or kapu'ahi, prevented others from being in her circle. It was a border that kept her separated from all. She had her own COVID action. She was able to keep, her heat was a natural. Yeah? And so she never wanted anyone to fall into punishment because of what she carried. So she always made sure she was always separated away from anyone else. And so one of the translations of holy is to be set apart, consecrated. If you look on this map, this is all the action. All of Kamehameha's inner circles. She's off to a mile to the side with the clergies, the guys who don't party. You see how she's kept apart. So she's the one who decides not to renew the kapu system. At the same time, this allows Io to come back to the center. For her rank is and always will be higher than that of Kamehameha. Remember, he had to crawl on his belly in her presence, always naked. If you look ahead of her house, you will see the set of other houses. Those belong to Hewa Hewa Nui, the high priest. The map of John Papa'i shows a direct line. A straight line between the Holy One and the Holy Council. Pretty good, eh? Remember, it is Hewa Hewa who suggests to break away from the kapu system. Once the system is broken or no longer running, Hewa Hewa quits his job as Kahuna Nui and he becomes a private citizen and he starts to destroy the temples. So can we guess where that conversation happened? Sometime between 1805, 1810. How many days did they have together to hang out and talk story? But when certain things happen, this is when we make our move. Yeah? I don't know, wasn't there, but it's fun to think about. Fast forward to 1819, and we go to Kona on the island of Hawaii. May 5th, 1819, Kamehameha passes away at a place called Kamakahonu. May 5th, 1819, October-ish, 1819. Same time the boat leaves Boston. The Battle of Kuamo'o happens. And this is the battle for the kapu system to be reestablished. It is the order of Queen Keopuolani to cut ties with the 600 years of oppression and make ready for freedom. It was her order to stand. Yeah. March 28-ish, 1820, Hewa Hewa Nui gets a vision that the students of Opukahaia will arrive. They're still at sea. So he sends his runner from Kawaiahao to Kamakahonu to tell Liho Liho that a ship will be there in 7 days. April 4th, 1820, friends of Opukahaia arrive at Kamakahonu at a place called Kaikeakua, which is where they launched the Iron Man, the swimmers, where they swim. That place is called Kaikeakua. Where King Kamehameha Hotel is, that's Kamakahonu. They're right next to each other. Ocean of the God. You see, this is where Hewa Hewa Nui composes the first Hawaiian Christian prayer, before the Lord's Prayer even translated. And that's what I opened with. Yeah? You see, Hewa Hewa Nui also trained Henry Opukahaia. Hewa Hewa Nui was the caretaker of Hikiau Temple, which is where Henry O gets his training. Yeah? So in this prayer, a pule vanana no hoi, a prophetic one, I say, he composes this in the last half. Yeah? He says, Ke oli oli ne kahonua, ualoa no kahuolelo, o ka ike, o ka mana, o ki ola. Halawai ki alo o boki, I ki alo ko haku ma'amu, pule pono ya Yehovah. And so he says, the heavens rejoice, for we receive the words of knowledge, words of power, words of life. That's this, that came off the boat. So he's telling him, thank you. That means they've been talking for a while. If you don't want to believe that, but I believe that. But in the next section, he says, Halavai ike alo o boki. We will meet in the presence of Boki. Yeah? Boki, the chief, younger brother of Kalanimoku. He is the governor of Oahu. And so when the missionary party arrives here to establish their place on Oahu, they have this meeting. That happens 2 years after the prayer is made. He called it out, Heva did. He said, they're going to have this meeting. Halavai ke alo Boki. You're going to talk to Boki. Yeah. When you read the 21 Years of the Sandwich Islands by Mr. Bingham, Hiram Bingham, he talks about this meeting. And in this meeting, they go, you know, Oahu is a great place. We love the hills and heights of Nu'uanu, because that's where you can wear your wool socks and long sleeve blazers all day and you still be comfortable, yeah? But Boki go, no, I put you over here. And they went, what? Yeah, right there. Now it's called what? Mission Homes. See, they didn't know that that place was waiting for them. Just like they didn't know that this is where the temple is going to be built 400 years before. In the prayer, he foretold the coming temple at Kawaiahao. He acknowledged that the words of life, Paipala Hemolele, had arrived and had been translated by the alphabet created by Henry Opukaha'ia. You see, he had works that were ready to go, but they left them back home. And so they had to reinvent everything when they came here. That's why I considered him, Henry, one of our greatest Hawaiian scholars. Because like any good kumu, before they leave, they always ho'omakaukau all of the lessons before they leave the earth. And it is the studious nature of the haumana to take those things and to keep it going. But that wasn't the case. Remember that the conversation between the queen and head priest at 555 Queen Street, this is a fruit of that meeting for the seeds of change on the grounds of Kawaiahao, which has been preserved for 400 years, had been sanctified through the chiefess Hao. Then 400 years later, Queen Keopu'olani re-sanctifies the space with her presence, which allows a temple. You see, this space was sanctified by Heva Nui, walking around here 5 years, praying, planting seeds, praying, that the temple will be here. That's what he did when he was here. Yeah? So you get triple blessings, right? After the 400 years, Akua goes, I think we need a little touch-up. So Heva comes over and he spreads the words of life. And then 2 years later, when it's ready, Bingham go, we don't like this place. We like over there. And Boki holds his ground and said, no, you don't know. You don't know what we did for have you come here. And when you're here, this is your space. And because they're here, we're not up in Nu'uanu. Praying. Kawaiahao to be built and then dedicated to Yehovah by the Queen's son, Kameme Ekolu, King Kawaiahao, who sits in the back of this house. July 21st, almost to the day, 1842, when the church was completed. What does he do? He gives the site away, the kapu site of his mother to Yehovah, of Yeku to the brethren. He gave it away, just like Akua told him to do. And he sat right back there. At a time when no one wanted to finish the house because those who started construction left town. And so this thing was incomplete. And so he gathers the resources and he finishes the hale. And once it's done, he goes, you know what? Akua told me, give it to you guys. Dedication of this holy house of Jehovah, July 21st, 1842. Official. By the sacred son of Keopuolani. Yeah. Setting of the Hawaiian Kingdom, Pakaka, 1810, verse 1. You see, in 1810, going back a little bit, Kamehameha tried twice to land on Kauai. He was told by the prophets to stay put, but he didn't listen, and he got lickings, right? His fleet got destroyed in the channel. His warriors got wiped out by cholera. And so by that time, he knew that, okay, Kauai is going to have to come under diplomacy. So after the messengers go back and forth, they met right outside here, Pakaka. And that's where Kaumuali said, Kauai, from the mountain to the sea, from the highest chief to the lowest kawa, is yours. You like them? And Kamehameha go, oh, brah, I don't like them. It's yours. Okay, what then? It's me kohoi pai aina. Okay, I can do that. So the first time the kingdom is set, ko Hawaii pai aina, which we hear all the time, happened right outside there. Pakaka. Which means the stone skipping on the surface of the water. It was literally a stone skip and a hop away from here. Yeah? Oh, what does this have to do with your presentation, Kaipoʻi? Well, let's go ahead. 555 Queen Street, Honuakaha. 15 years later, May 6, 1825, a 12-year-old boy speaks in front of the lahui and says, Hawiau ke au puni ke akua. Ahe pala pala au puni ko'u. He said, I dedicate the kingdom to Akua, and my kingdom will be one of literacy. Kohawai Pai Aina is now consecrated to the Holy One by the Holy One on earth. Did you catch that? The Most Holy One in Kohawai Pai Aina at that point in time gives this place, Hawaii with his name on it, back to the Holy One on May 6, 1825. That's the second time the kingdom is dedicated in the same space. Yeah. The lahui becomes enlightened in the Western sense through the readings of Henry Opuka'ia. We become the most literate nation in the world by reading Paipala Hemolele. That was decreed by him right down the street. And what's the name of this street that comes up here? Mission Lane. It's that printing press that prints over 100 million pages of Olelo Hawaii comes throbbing out of there once he releases it. Okay, no enough? Wait, there's a third time. What? Yes, 3 times a lady. Same month, different year. July 31st, 1843, La Ho'iho'i'ea. 1 year to the day after this temple is dedicated to Jehovah, Kamehameha Ekolu speaks again, Umau ke'ea o ka'aina I kapono, on the steps of this temple. It is to me the third time in the same space that he, Kalanikaui Keoli, the Kapu one, the sacred son of Kalanikaui Kealaneo Keopuolani, dedicates the temple, the land, the kingdom that was given to him, back to him. This is how we, Lahui of faith, was given back our country from Great Britain. After that, the nation celebrated 1 week in Kawaiahao Church, the glory of Jehovah. it was a national holiday honoring him. All of these wondrous things, mahano ha'o ha'o no ho'i, happen right here. Maybe this is why Kawaiahao is a Wahipana. As in the words of my kumu, Pilipo Souza, and some guy over there, he would tell me Souza with a Z, not an S. He would also always say to me, "Umau ke o ka'aina I ka pono o Yesu Kristo." Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. He Wahipana ko Kawaiahao. E o kamakani, aua oa, e o I o, mahalo ahuiho.
I think this is the part where you clap at home in front of your computer. Thank you all. We are going to try something, first of all, mahalo, mahalo Kaipoʻi. And again, mahalo for joining us. We are going to try something different. We're going to try and see if we can take questions and answers via a virtual format. And just in case it doesn't work out, we thank you in advance for extending grace. And so I guess we'll open it up to questions and answers. And again, mahalo for joining us. And
Hi, Kaipoʻi.
How's that?
Wonderful, informative presentation. Mahalo.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. I'm not sure does everybody off the YouTube get to join Naholo? I'm not too
Yeah.
sure. I did write them on the YouTube part that we are open for questions and answers, but I haven't yet to hear from anyone typing in anything. And not sure how that's working.
Yes, Wahi. Do you have any jump starting questions that you want to ask?
Yeah, Kaipoʻi. I know we talked about that area being sacred. I wanted to know if you know anything about a leprosy sanitarium being located in that neighborhood.
Leprosy. No, they often talk about the victims of the bubonic plague, but I've
Okay.
never come across the leprosy saints. I've never seen that one.
Ah, yeah. A social worker from California several years ago emailed me, sending me an account of a dying young boy of leprosy. And he was saying that he worked in, so he was in a sanitarium near Kawaiahao. And so the question from the social worker was, do you think that little boy eventually ended up at the Kawaiahao Church Cemetery, which I have, I can't trace any records, but I just wanted to know if you had any idea whether there was a sanitarium like that. Another question is, right on the street, Mission Lane, across your school, the Kawaiahao Church School, there is a building with the name Elizabeth Building. I've always wondered who that was, or do you know?
I don't know. A
Okay.
good guess could be Kahumanu, because that's their Christian name.
I thought so too, but yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Kaipoʻi,
Yo.
I'm looking at the chat on the YouTube part, and Leanne Silva says, Anakala Kaipoʻi, Luke and Lilia, miss your mo'olelo. Wonderful to share virtual space with you. Mahalo nui nui for blowing our minds. So, and also from Bill Haoli, he says he does not have any questions. He is just filled with aloha, awe, and gratitude. And then I also want you to know that, well, I saw that there were 25 people live on this one. I'm not sure how many more, but I also had some other friends that were texting me that that they were, what did they say? Hold on. I love this guy. Great expressions. One good, kind storyteller. And then Manuel Kulololia says, tell Kaipoʻi, the house of Kulololia says thank you. And that was from Manny on his BlackBerry. So I guess I'm getting it on all
That-
different things. And
That
so
name is the name of the ocean on the inside, yeah.
I
Kulololia.
saw that, Kulololia. I didn't know that. He is related to Kahu, and his family is related to Kahu. That's, and I had sent him the thing this morning to make sure they join, but
Think
I will let
Uncle-
him know that's the name of that.
And then
So-
Uncle Les talks about some of the coral coming out of there to make the house.
Oh. Okay. I wish there were more people that could join us on this live portion. This is pretty interesting, and I need to watch it again just to get more stuff. I
Yeah.
got so much more the second time, and it's just like, wow, okay, so this is great. Let me see if there's anybody else on the thing that wants it, if there's anybody else on the YouTube thing. There's some people still watching now, so I guess that they're saying hello, and they're still watching, they're still on, they haven't signed off. So thank you all who are still watching. I'm not sure if you can hear and see us because I'm not that tech savvy, but hey. Okay, if anyone does have questions that's out in our virtual audience, you can type them in.
Kaipoʻi, I don't have a question, but like many others, I want to thank you for your scholarly work. And I do believe it's scholarly work. What you come across, how you come across it, has always impressed me through the years that I've known you. So thank you for what you're doing to bring enlightenment to folks who are not as well as versed. Obviously, you spend time doing it. But you've got to know too, brother. I'm hoping whatever you're doing is going to be in print sometime in the future.
Mm.
I don't know what it's called, but if you haven't done your doctorate yet, this would be a great thesis. Doctorate, brother. Very well done, very informative. And again, for people who were, I call them the lost generations of Hawaiians, went through a period where our culture was not revered, was not honored, and even our kupuna prevented us. My dad was one of them. They prevented us from knowing our culture. Now, of course, I have a decision to make, right? Now that I'm older, I'm much more interested in my history than I was ever before. And then listening to you now, it just drags up so much. And then in the last year, preparing for the 200th, I've been doing a lot of reading. I'm in the book now, Shoal of Time. And I would like your comment on Shoal of Time, brother, because that is a very, for a guy who didn't know much, that is an ugly depiction of our history by the author Dawes, or whatever his name was.
Gavin Dawes. He was my history professor at UH.
That's great. But have you read Shoal of Time, Keiko?
I never got to complete it. I picked it up, but it is I started it many years ago, but never got to finish it. Yeah.
It's a difficult read, but it makes it even more difficult for those of us who want to engage in our culture and to understand how even our ali'i, very questionable the way Dawes presents them. But then I've also read 2 other books, mostly by Chris Cook, about our history and so forth. And I'm just learning a lot. So you've just filled in a lot of stuff for me, brother, and I appreciate that. And I look forward to your book. Or maybe coffee sometime, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, brother.
Kaipoʻi, just a few minutes before we came on board, I did speak to Kelling Bridges. Forgot her married name. She said you directed her to me because she was looking
Oh
for
yeah, she's looking
baptismal
for her
record,
baptismal
and I was
record.
successful.
Oh,
So I
good.
connected with her and I told her what she needs to provide me before I can provide her documentation.
Oh,
So
good.
it
Thank
was,
you.
yeah, it was successful. And thank you for directing her to me.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, I know we're streaming live on YouTube. I haven't seen any other questions come through off the YouTube chat. I don't know if
There's
our
two questions.
AG has seen anything, but thank you very much, everybody who is participating.
I have a
Rahul says-
question.
oh,
Oh, Nani. Are you watching the chat? There's a couple questions in there. Bill wants to know if any of Kaipoʻi's work is published.
I was looking for publishers, but they closed down in COVID-19, so I'm looking for them.
Also, Kahukan says, is there any princess known as Ha'o?
That's the part that that comes out of the stone church, yeah. But the Ha'o I did find was from that genealogy. So I honor that both stories.
It's kind of confusing though, because Ha'o in your presentation is a kane.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ha'o that we were given back in 1960 when I went to Kawaiahao was a chiefess,
Right.
Wahine.
But the thing that makes me open up more is they talk about her sacredness, her kapuness. But then when you look at this line of Chief Ha'o, you cannot get more kapu than that. So I just said, I'll leave it at that, yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope to get to that same place that you are in the future.
So Naholo, I'm
too-
sorry, Naholo, are you responding to the inquiries for them, for him?
They're listening on the chat.
Oh, okay, good.
And one more
Okay.
from Bill Hole. Can we expound a little on the Hebrew and Olelo Hawaii relationship and development?
Hebrew was Henry O's favorite language. And so when he got into Yale, that's the one he gravitated towards because it was similar to Olelo Hawaii. And so from there, he used the letters and then he connected the orthography and he put it together. But that's in his memoirs. And also Chris Cook's book.
Is that why Kaipoʻi, Hawaii, his history, his culture is known as the 13th tribe?
Some people say, yeah,
That's what I've heard.
right.
Yeah.
And then when you learn the story of Dorian Paskowitz, he was known as Doc Paskowitz. And he lived to 94 years old, but he brought surfing to Israel.
Oh.
Right now, surfing is popular in Israel, but he's the guy who brought it there during the 6-day war. He became a medic and he enlisted in the Israeli army. And so he would go back and forth between Hawaii and here.
In the 60s?
Yeah. And then so he would bring surfboards because in the Sea of Galilee, the lifeguards would be riding these surf mats. So it's like, let me get you something better. And then once they started making friends, then he brought the gift back to over there. Yeah. So to me, that's Hawaii's gift back to the Holy Land. They sent their gift this way. So when you talk about a connection culturally, that's two things that are culturally from those places, specifically of those spaces, and now they're exchanged. Yeah.
Right, right. And they're almost like us, meaning 3 years ago, I think 4 years ago to Israel in January. In January? Yeah, in January. And we stayed, the first night we stayed in a place called Netanya, and it's right on the sea. And this is January, this is winter. And there are guys surfing out in Netanya.
And there's a beautiful documentary called God Went Surfing with the Devil. And they were trying to get surfboards into Israel when Israel was on lockdown, and they were giving them hassles because they saying it wasn't relevant, but they saying it's a humanitarian effort. But they also go into Palestine to meet surfers over there, and the idea is if they can surf together, then they can live together in the same space. Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. Got it. You can rent it for like $3, but it's an interesting, but the missing part of that story is the origin of the gift. If they knew where the origin of the gift came from and what it represented, I think that would make that documentary so much more juicier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
We, Kaipoʻi, we also have an aloha from Alana Wickman.
Hey,
She wanted to say, mahalo nui kumu Kaipoʻi. I can't, the writing is too small for me to read, but it says, I think it says hoi hoi keia.
he said, interesting.
And also Manuel, the Kuloloias, he is quite, I'm going to send him your information if you don't mind. He wanted to get in touch with you.
Okay.
He comes from the side, the Kivalo side of Maui's Keopuolani, and the first child of Kamehameha from Peleuli. So a little bit more genealogy in there. You go, let me read the whole thing. We come from the line of Kahawanu Kukinao that lived Mauka and Kivalo side of Maui's Keopuolani. He is the first child of Kamehameha from Peleuli. Okay, so that's so many different people have joined us. I'm just so excited that we have. I hope my children are watching from the mainland. And let me see, I don't see any more chats or questions from the chat room. I see we still have 22 more people still remaining online, and I want to again thank everyone and extend the invitation for 3 Sundays from now, or the 3rd Sunday in August, same time, 4 p.m. We're going to have Chris Cook, and you'll be getting a little bit more information as that goes on. It'll be 4 p.m. Chris Cook, who wrote the book about Opukahaia, and maybe Kau Kurt Kekuna. Maybe you can give a little bit more information on Chris Cook. I don't have his bio in front of me, so I don't want to speak out of turn.
No, you won't. All you need to do is request it. He has already prepared a bio. It's already in manuscript form.
Yeah, no, I mean for the people that are watching right now.
Oh no, I don't have anything about Chris right now.
I'm sorry we weren't prepared. This is our first time to do this. And so now we have a little bit more information on how we're going to go forward. Let me see, we have another question. Could there be a relationship for ha'o to a reference to iron, and maybe ha'o as a definition for a force of wind?
That's usually how ka makani. No matter okina inside, yeah. How is to use force, yeah.
Okay, so that was a question from our audience right here. Is how a reference to the definition of a force of winds, but the answer is no, because it does not have an okina.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yeah, because this ha'o is the wondrous, yeah. The amazing.
Well, this was truly amazing. So let me see, I'm going to ask if there's any more questions.
Yeah, one more tidbit, Kaipoʻi. I just want to tell you, going back to when you said 1995, you made reference to Arlen Richardson and Kahukaina. And of course, Kahukaina, we all know. Arlen Richardson, I had the pleasure of working with him after I became a member of the church. and he was very active. And I got a lot out of him. So I'm glad that you mentioned him, and also Kahukaina. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I consider this a success. I can't believe that we actually did everything. Again, mahalo Kaipoʻi for your mana'o, for just sharing everything with us. And I thank you all for coming with us. We again invite you to join our Kawaiahao Church services every Sunday on our Kawaiahao Church TV on YouTube at 8:30. And we look forward to seeing you again in August, the third Sunday in August. So with that, I'm going to say thank you to our audiovisual person.
Yeah, naholo, mahalo.
Thank you. Thank you, Naholo.